Yeah. Well, hello, everybody. Now, this is something that I've been wanting to do for about a week or so. And initially, it was supposed to be just a fun little lighthearted rant about mass. But with some recent events, I'm going to eventually have to get a little bit darker in my rant. And it's probably going to be a lot longer than what it originally was intended to be. But even as dark as it may get, I can still try to crack jokes. I, I'm one of those people. Eh, it's not going to be too soon. I'm going to have to address it, and it might be inevitable that I crack jokes. I mean, sometimes it's laughter is the best medicine, especially when you're surrounded with tragedy. Anyways, let's go back. Now, the last three lines of the theme song for that '70s show was I love Wisconsin. And never mind the sound. I got my window open and I got a fan going, so you'll hear all the traffic and that noise in the background, that constant. That's a fan going because normally I don't smoke in the apartment, but considering everything, I need it. So, anyways, yeah. Ooh, I just realized something. Hang on. I will have to be right back. I need something for an ashtray. So I will have to run and get one. I will be right back. One momento. Yeah. Well, now you all know I'm not wearing any pants. Oh well, it is what it is. I wasn't intending to get up from the camera, so I figured, but oh well. What am I going to do now? Anyways, yes, I am talking about this thing right here and how irritating it is, especially when you have to wear them at work. For 12 hours. Now, some of the masks aren't as bad, but like if you wear a thicker one like this, there's hardly anything to it, so it's not as bad. But if you wear, the good ones for 12 hours and 80-degree temperature, in a hot factory, it's not the best. Yeah. Anyways, Wisconsin is slowly going downhill. I was talking about that '70s show, the theme song, I Love Wisconsin. That's not exactly the case anymore. I'm sort of getting disenfranchised with the whole thing. I mean, I used to like Wisconsin. It was kind of cool, being the drunkest state. There's that's an interesting little fact. I mean, we got like three of the drunkest cities in the country. That's Is that something I should be bragging about and be proud of? I don't know, but I think it's kind of neat. It means we know our beer, so if you get a Wisconsin beer brewed, good chance it's going to be amazing because clearly we know our stuff. So many of these masks. I got one, like two good masks. This one is not one of them. First off, it's white, so any stain, you just notice it. So yeah. Anyways, so not too long ago, there's supposed to be a government ordered a mandate, and we're supposed to wear these all the time. But fortunately, the coppers are saying that they're not going to enforce it. So that's great. I can go out without this, not have to get totally ruined. Like in some states. So we're not as bad as some, but it's still dumb considering how late in the game this was brought up because this is hardly a month ago. So we had a lockdown. The month went by. Our incredibly wise governor decided it'd be a good idea to continue it. Fortunately, the Supreme Court deemed it unconstitutional. So, about 2 months later, he decides to do the next best thing. This right here. Now, he hasn't said anything about wearing it indoors, but some people are advocating that for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, it's just me here. Okay, there's a spider up there. So, what's the logic? If I were to take this mask and, take it off, be like, hey there, spider, or, as much as I can, like, hey there, try to spray it as much as I possible. And if I do have the virus, well, am I going to give the coronavirus to that little arachnid there? And if I do, would it even matter? Because I don't know, it seems like house spiders don't have as don't have the longest lifespan, especially since it seems, from what I can tell, they spin they spin their web, they sit there really lazily. I bet most arachnids are socialists and they just want things handed out to them, which is why they have their web, do one work and then that's it, spend all their lives waiting. But here, it's food would be a little scarce. So I bet if I were to, in fact, be able to give a virus to an arachnid, it would die from starvation and an already really short lifespan. Yeah, would it even really matter? Or if I breathe on a fly, I kill the fly. I mean, would that be that bad? If I kill an arachnid, wouldn't I help make the world a better place? I sure think it would. I don't. Oh, yeah. People always say, like, oh, but, it's spiders for the ecosystem and all that. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they eat the bugs, and we have 100 other animals to eat the bugs. Bunch of animals eat insects, so we don't need those eight-legged freaks. None of that. None of that. Eh. So yeah. Anyways, yeah. Anyways, fortunately, it isn't being enforced, but he still wants us to do it. Be nice. Hey, suffocate. Suffocate for all the people around you that are suffocating with you because of these things. Yeah, like especially at work. Oh, like one of the days I was, having to wear this, and it was a really warm day, and I was in one of the machines, so it's enclosed, so it gets it's like 20 degrees warmer in there. So if I had left this on in there, whew, I really feel like I would have passed out because I could not breathe. I felt like George Floyd for 12 hours. Though who knows? Maybe that's how long he was feeling to begin with, since, he was saying he couldn't breathe in the car long before his knee was being pressed on. So there's that. Anyways, this isn't about that. This is about Wisconsin. But I am going to get into Blake because it's Wisconsin. It's important. It affects me directly because I am a Wisconsinite. So, yeah, most of the places I am going to, they are not enforcing it. They have the mask required by government mandate, but a lot of times the only people you see are wearing them are the employees, which I can understand. I mean, I wear a mask at work. I oblige. I mean, it's better than nothing. I mean, we haven't had any. It's not something I'm going to quit over with. It's not like we're, doing diversity classes. That's something I would be much more inclined to quit over because I don't want to deal with that racist stuff. Give me my equality stuff. That's what I want. I'm an egalitarian. I don't want to judge people by the color of their skin. It's not my jam. Oh, these things. None of these things stay on. Oh. Okay, I got two good masks, but I wanted to wear the crappiest one because I figured it'd make for the most amusing video as doing this. And if I wear the thicker ones, I won't be able to, sorry, enjoy my cigar nearly as much. So, anyways, like even some of the stores that I go to, like I'm not, as much as I would love to shout them out, I'm not going to because I don't want to. If any Karens were to end up watching this, I don't want them to go over to those places and yell that the employees are not wearing masks. And the place that I'm referring to specifically, they don't even have, the plexiglass shields in front of them. They are acting as if nothing happened this year. I love it. I'm not even going to tell you what kind of store it is because that's going to be able to narrow it down to figure out, I mentioned where I live and to be able to deduct, he lives there. So if he's talking about this, so it's either this place or this place, and like that. I don't want Karens to go over and try to ruin them. So I'm not going to shut out those businesses where not even the employees wear masks. But when I saw that, I was like, this is great. I like this. Just, I want things to get back to normal, but not happening. We've been doing this for half a year. Everybody who already has it is going to have it. I mean, how many people have it and we don't even know? People that are dying from it, we're going to probably end up dying anyways because they're all elderly. So, yeah, that was initially just what I was going to talk about, just the whole mask thing. But now, the whole Kenosha thing, I was so hoping those rights and stuff wouldn't be coming here to Wisconsin, but it did. But of Kenosha of all places, I'd imagine Milwaukee or even Madison, one of those. Green Bay. Those would be like three of the biggest cities that I can think of where if there would be any riots, that would be it. No, no, no. We got Kenosha. I guess it is close enough to Chicago, so and we all know how wonderful a city it was, Chicago is. So yeah, now now we're just in in the statistics of all the Democrat-run states slowly just being driven downhill. I was wanting to do a well, who knows? If the lockdown did continue, maybe none of this would have happened. But since nobody would be able to go out and there'd be nowhere to go to, the only places you want to hang out with your friends, chill out, you got to go to like Walmart or Target or something. Those are the places to hang out, or at least they were during the lockdown. But now mostly everything's opened up. So, yeah, not sure how much I want to say or how much I need to say. I've been at this, maybe I'll go for 20 minutes. This was supposedly mainly about the mask, but I feel like I should address this somewhat. So, yeah, but I will give Tony credit where credit is due. He did actually end up accepting Trump's help a lot sooner than the other places. So, get things wrapped up a lot easier than, what's going on in Portland. It's been 3 months and they're still refusing help. They're just letting it go on. Just let all of Portland burn except this one little place, you know, where the governor is or mayor or whatever. It's all getting muddled up. It's all weird, crazy, insane. So, yeah, what a thing. What a thing. Oh, was there anything else I was going to say? So, yeah, I wonder how things would have been turned out if we still had Walker as governor. I voted for him, so you can't blame me for this. I didn't vote for Evers. Oh yeah. I wonder what it would be like if we still did have Walker, but I figured he still wouldn't be staying in office because he's been at it a while, and the political pendulum. It's a thing that exists, and I kind of like the idea of a political pendulum. Keeps help keep things in order, and instead of going too far one way or too far the other way, helps keep things more neutral. Help ensure our freedoms stay intact because when things get too crazy, like if like a fundamentalist Christian white ringer wants to try to enforce certain try to things that would be deemed unconstitutional with censorship, like if you know don't criticize Christianity, or if somebody on the left, it's like, yeah, if you fat shame someone, you're going to go to jail. I don't like that. So, yeah, political compass help keep things neutral. So, I like that. Anyways, do I have much more to say? I don't think so. I think I've about said everything I need to say. So the video ended up being a little bit longer because things got crazier than I was expecting when I initially was planning on making this video. But what am I going to do? Right now, most I can do is make these videos, and when voting comes, vote. Hear those sounds. The great outdoors. But yeah, the only place, going back to masks, like the only real places that are enforcing it are like major chains, like uh, Walmart, Menards. I haven't tested how Aldi would react because I go to Aldi quite a bit. Generally, don't need much of a reason to go to Menards, and I do try to avoid Walmart because it's Walmart, and having to wear masks makes the experience even worse than what it was before the whole thing. Because before, I always felt terrible going to Walmart. Now, it's ultra terrible. It's terrible terrible, the redundant kind of terrible. It's so terrible, you have to say it twice in two languages. That's how bad it is. Anyways, hmm, I feel like I've said everything I wanted to say. Yeah, thanks, Tony, for actually accepting Trump's help. That's that means you can do some things right, at least. I'm not really well, I'm not really sure what we've all done. The only things I could think of that you would try to do is make it so all the businesses go crash because nobody can go anywhere. You want the economy to die, apparently, or you want us all to suffocate. But I suppose you can kind of see how effective these masks actually can be since I'm smoking a cigar right through it. And that it doesn't stay at all. Not at all. And the white masks, oh, they are the worst. I mean, if I stick in my pocket, you can see every speck of lint that's been on it. I mean, look at this thing. It's filthy. Of course, I'm not doing anything to help because, I'm doing this comedic smoking bit to help emphasize how effective these things can actually be. Yeah, the best they do is, make it so you don't get spittle on everyone. That's about it. So, yeah, well, I've exhausted all my thoughts. I think I'm going to pretty much end it here. I could go on for about another 5.5 minutes, make it a nice even 30, but I feel like I'm just going to be going around in circles, just saying the same things over and over, which is generally seems to be what I end up doing with my videos, anyways. I have 2 points, and I say those 2 points 3 times. That's what you do when you don't script your videos. well, I sort of script them. I have a basic idea what I say. Like that spider bit. I was lying about the spider. There's no spider. Fortunately, if there was, I would not be acting the way I was because I am a huge arachnophobe. Major. I don't mind 6 legs. I don't mind 100 legs. I don't mind 1,000 legs. But 8 legs, no, man. No. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Not at all. That is not my jam. I do not dig it at all. Yeah, I I've been kind of figuring out which places enforce masks, and if you force and if like, hey, you have to wear a mask, I will go there as little as possible. But if I can go to a place where even if it says mask required, but most of the people don't have it, and no one's like, there's no Karens behind the counter or in the store. I haven't seen much Karens, mask Karens, fortunately, so that's good. Most people don't seem to really care at all about it. They're probably as fed up with it as I am. Can you blame them? Mm-mm. Besides, this whole thing, when I am not wearing a mask, I am helping to uphold the Constitution. I love the Constitution. It is a great document. And I want to keep it intact as much as possible, which is why I'm going to be voting for Trump because he seems to he's not the perfect. He's not perfect. He's done things I don't care for. Like he did kind of do a bit of a. I don't know if he went back on it or not. I'd have to research it. But when he wanted to do the ban on bump stocks, I was like, no, man, that's not constitutional. It's part of a bare arm. It's kind of like a bare arm. An arm for your arms. I mean, gun arm. Not a arm. Although you know, might be one or two people that their bare arms are arms. Like Boom Boom Mega Man. Or Alienator stuff like that. But yeah, most people don't seem to care. Go to a place, most people aren't wearing masks, and I like that. So I like the mindset we have here at least. We're just kind of doing our best to live as normally as we can, pre 2020. Trying to make this year as good as it is because this year has been horrible. This is probably going to be the most interesting year of my life. And if there is a year that is worse than this, then oh boy, is it going to be terrible. We got all these riots, this virus scare, which you know, I have a coworker. He ended up having the virus, so they had to send him home, for 2 weeks. So he wasn't able to work for 2 weeks because of this. But he was asymptomatic. He ended up getting tested, and he didn't know until he got tested. Then he told them, so they sent him home. Although we probably all got it anyways now, because he was a maintenance guy, so he goes all over the place. You have to deal with people. Yeah, it's on the day shift, and there's more people there, so having the PPEs is more common. I work in the nights. It's not enforced as much. So a lot of times, we wear it like this. We have it like this. We're not spitting on people, but we can still breathe. Although it's autumn, you can tell if you go outside. It's definitely coming. Like right now, it's about 60 degrees. It's night right now. It's 6:11 a.m. It's still dark. It's about 60. Just this last week, it would have been about 70. At night. So things are cooling down. Oh, and if we have to wear these during winter, oh, it's gonna be terrible. Because I work with paper, so we have these rolls and rolls of paper. It absorbs, all the moisture, and you know, because like myself, I know some other people, you know, especially in the winter, it gets really bad. So wearing this, and then although maybe it'll help, make it so it doesn't get as dry because you're constantly breathing back in the vapor particles that you're exhaling, so get that back up in your nostrils, make it so it's dry, not moist, not as dry. Because in the winter, like me and some other people I know, the nose, man, the nose, oh, it gets dry. Sometimes it's just our nose just becomes a water fountain of blood. So if you spring a leak and try to inhale it as much as you can, to keep it up, while you're, taking a pack of napkins, cramming it up as much as you can, and take it off for a moment, shove it up your nostril to soak up all that blood so this, doesn't, so this stays mostly white instead of just becoming this red, thing. Just to, you know, keep it white instead of, so if we still have to wear that in the winter months, oh, that's going to be terrible for some of us. Well, it won't be as warm, so it might be a little bit easier to breathe at least. And sometimes there are safety hazards. Like if I wear, the safety goggles, this you can tell this clearly isn't a very tight fit since you can turn every time the mask falls down as a drinking game. Yeah, like right now I have the glasses here. That's keeping it up, but it kind of has a tendency to move it up a little bit so that my vision isn't quite the way it should be. Like I, have it like this as close as I can. Right on the nose. It's fine, but this, move it a little bit. It does affect my vision a little bit. I've always had terrible eyesight, atrocious. I mean, I have, the these are the thinnest kind of lenses you can get, and they are still massively thick. Like if I want, like right here, not wearing glasses, everything's clear, but anything be away, it starts to get really blurry. So that's going to be fun, and I'm sure Tony will try to have us wear masks as long as he possibly can. Uh, that's Constitution be damned, right? That's the way it seems to be. So yeah. It's things like that that are making me not enjoy Wisconsin as much. I mean, before in 2019, before I really did kind of like the state. I did unironically be able to say I love Wisconsin. The only one of the worst things about Wisconsin is that you know, cannabis still isn't legal. And I think it should be. It's a waste of time, a waste of money. People are being thrown in cells, and worse people could be there. I mean, what? So what? Why have someone locked up, for having a joint when there's people, you know, people breaking law, restraining orders, of women that they, assaulted in certain ways, trying to keep my language clean, although I feel like I've already kind of violated that already, but looks like I'm still live. So, and I don't have to worry about being monetized since I don't have, enough views or subscribers at this point. Like locking up people for cannabis is like locking up people for not wearing a mask. It's ridiculous. It shouldn't be that way. That was my biggest complaint I've always had before this whole thing. But now Wisconsin is being a bit more dystopian than I would be hoping. I I feel it's kind of dystopianic. So what did I hear? Nothing special. Well, yeah, I don't really think I have anything else to say. Just addressing the riots, which have pretty much been cleared up right now, but Kenosha is still in ruins. And I'm siding with the cops because if the circumstances, the guy had a knife to begin with. He was breaking, restraining orders. They were called in. They knew he was already breaking the law. They knew he was armed. Hmm. This whole year, I never thought I'd see anything like this. It's nuts. It's nuts. Boy, now I'm really getting depressed. Well, I've been going on for long enough. I've said mostly what I need to say. If I continue on, I'll just be repeating myself. Maybe maybe I should try to lighten things up a little bit. Try to end on a bit more of a positive note. Um, Something positive. Addition is positive. You know, subtraction is negative. So I could talk about addition. What about addition? 2 plus 2 equals 4, not 5. 2.5 plus 2.5 equals 5, not 4. That's positive, right? How many chickens does it take to screw in a light bulb? One. But it better be a really smart chicken. There. I told a light bulb joke. Are you laughing? Did I give you some joy in this darkness we are living? Well, I'm almost done with the cigar, which means it's about time to wrap things up, I suppose. Well, for all of you to end up watching this video, I hope you've enjoyed it enough. Hope you got something about it. And looks like most people here are going to vote for Trump. Because, like here, like most other places, you hardly ever see any signs for President Harris and Vice President Joe Biden. I've been counting each sign. I have a video that I'm doing where I'm going down every street in town looking for political signs. It's almost all Trump. I'm seeing some Harris, not much, mostly Trump. Most people are on board with me. I know about 3 people that aren't on board with Trump. 2 of them actually call him the Antichrist. I was always under the impression that the Antichrist was supposed to be very charismatic and, and nowhere near as divisive as what Trump would be. This guy seems to be anything but the Antichrist. But Harris and Biden would be a bit closer. Although I can't imagine Biden being an Antichrist either. I can't imagine him being much of anything. Since he hardly even knows what year it is half the time. And I can let him slide for, not always knowing where he is at the exact time, because even when people with full cognitive ability, when you're on long tours, although, yeah, if you're actually touring, like if you're in a band where, you know, you're playing, you know, every day for months on end, yeah, you can forget. But how many places has Biden gone? I mean, he went to Kenosha out of obligation because Trump did it first. He actually seems to be trying to do something about it. He's offering help, but people aren't accepting it. They're just letting everything burn. Yeah, it's been up 45 minutes. I've been going on long enough. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Whoever does watch this. And considering everything, I hope you are all doing well. Take care, be safe. God bless. Whether or not you believe that or not, still, I want us all to be as in good of a mood as we possibly can. Keep on keeping on. That's all we can do. So yeah, see you around, everybody. The year's almost over, so hopefully things will start getting better soon.